What's up YouTube? The Master Gamer here, bringing you guys another video. Today's video we're going to be breaking down the new MUT 19 information that was just released. I think it was written by Jake Stein earlier last week and then put up today based off, recent tweets. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So it looks like they revamped the player upgrade system. So that was the power-up players in Madden 18. A lot of people had issues with the Madden 18 power-ups. I think all of those issues kind of got fixed, so I'm not going to read through it right now. I'm going to leave it on the screen, so if you want to pause it, or I'll put the link down in the description. So if you really want to go in and read it all, you can, but I'm just going to break it down, make it easier. So what they did was they added a new currency in the game. So before there was points and there was coins. Well, now they've added a third currency, and that's going to be training, I think it was called. And what that essentially does is you use that to power up players. So you obtain training, I think, by quick selling players. So if you get just quick sell players you don't want, you obtain training. Then using that training, you can power up your players. But then the power up players don't really function the same way this year either. So chemistries are taking off all cards stock now, which is kind of different. What they're like allowing you to do is you can manually put the chemistry you want on any card in the game. So say, for instance, you wanted Le'Veon Bell to have Pound the Rock, but he had to go deep. Well, that wouldn't happen, I guess. So that's probably a weird example. Essentially, the only chemistries that come with a card stock are the team chemistries. Then once you upgrade that card, I think once you get to choose like a not an ability chemistry, but I don't know what the other one's calling it. I think they're calling it scheme chemistries this year. They say it's somewhere down below here. See, yeah, scheme chemistry slot, so you'll see it right here. But and yeah, here, let me show you guys the UI. So as you go into your cards, you can see all the upgrades and all the upgrades per tier. So that's kind of nice. And then obviously the chemistry. And then something that they mentioned also in the blog is that you can only equip certain ability chemistries if that card meets certain thresholds. So you can't have like Deion Sanders with Secure Tackler next year, is what I assume they're trying to avoid. They want the chemistries to make sense, and they are trying to prevent some kind of wild stuff from a player who should suck at one thing, covering that up with just an ability chemistry. Because I think farther down the line, once you get to like tier 3 or 4, that's when you start getting those ability chemistries. Now, I don't know how hard it is to get the training. Like, obviously, this account has 15,000 training, and it costs 12 to 13 training to upgrade. But it probably isn't that easy to have 15,000 training. That's probably quick selling a lot of cards. There's probably some solos involved. You could probably get training throughout playing games too, if I had to assume. But I can't confirm that. It doesn't really say it in here. But the one thing worth noting with the power-up players for next year is that as you power them up, the first time you power them up, they become nat. So that's not auctionable, not tradable. Big issue with power-ups this current year. However, they did take the advice of a lot of people, and what they're allowing you to do is you're actually able to go backwards and get the base card again, and you can sell that card. Just say you have tier 1, tier 2, you have tier 3 Le'Veon Bell, you could revert it. You would lose some of your training, you wouldn't get it all back, but you can go back to that base card and then sell that card. They are allowing you to do that this year, so that's really cool. But overall, I think the power-up players they've solved everything with power-up players. I really like what they did with it. I like that now any player, you can have the ability chem and the scheme chem that you want. That's kind of huge. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it again in terms of salary cap. I don't know if the individual chemistries are going to be capped again like they were in the past. That's something that didn't really announce. The other thing that they didn't announce is if MUT was in the competitive mode again. I thought that was an issue this year. Hopefully it's not, but like I said, I don't know. They didn't announce it. So those are the two things, the two big questions I still have. Also, actually, there's a third, and I'll get to that a little later. They added, let me scroll down to it, so solo battles. So essentially what solo battles are is they're kind of like the weekend league for solo grinders. So you have to play like 15 games. I think it's 15, let me see. It might be 12. Yeah, I think it's 12, or 13 here it is, because 4, 4, and 3, and then 1. There's a featured opponent. The games are staggered throughout the week, so you have 4, well technically 5, 4, and 4. And then whoever gets the most points, or something like that. They didn't really explain the point system very well, unless I kind of read over it wrong. What it seems like is whoever scores the most points in those 13 games, or had the greatest score differential, is going to be the one that won. that like that's how it ranked, but it's kind of hard to tell. Like, see how did not finish at 0 points. That's interesting. I wonder if, like, for games that you don't play, like in the 4 days, if it cancels or you keep it. They didn't really say that. Like, obviously it opens, but I don't know if it said it in time. I might have missed that, but that's my fault. I don't really worry about solos too much. That being said, this could be interesting. They didn't announce the rewards for it yet, but it's probably pretty decent rewards. So it might be something for everybody to look into. I don't know, but it's definitely good for the solo guys. So going on down, oh, okay, that's a solo. This is like your level up screen, I guess now. That's interesting. You have your points. Here's our all points. Okay, so this is just your point multiplier and all that. And this is, I think this is actually also all for solo battles. This isn't for like MUT level. Okay, because they didn't really announce MUT level either. But here they added also squad challenges, so that's MUT squads. And essentially you can play versus CPU. It's something that we kind of already knew about from that first initial blog. But it is good to see that they got challenges for it, so it's not just like play a game against the CPU. It's probably like an actual kind of challenge. That's kind of interesting. That being said, I don't know how it's going to work. Like, are you just playing against CPU? Are there CPUs that are kind of playing like users? I don't really know. So it's going to be kind of weird to see. That being said, they didn't mention player friend MUT squads, and that's still kind of concerning. It has to be some kind, I mean, I could only assume it's because the game isn't designed to have 6 people in a lobby. That makes sense. So it could be like an engine issue, or they just haven't announced it yet. Hopefully they haven't announced it yet, and we do have MUT squads player friend, but not seeing it here is kind of alarming if that's something that you want to play a lot next year. Let's see. And then, okay, this is the last thing they added. Last thing they added was essentially individual player lineups. So you could use a slot wide receiver, power back, sub halfback, or sub linebacker, sub slot cornerback, the rush defensive end, rush left end, right end. What that allows you to do is certain packages, instead of having to manually sub out players, it'll put you there, like it'll put them there manually. That being said, the only reason I really see a use for this is glitching lineups. Like, I can already see it in my head, like, there's definitely going to be a way to glitch lineups with these. That being said, I don't know how important, like, slot wide receiver and power back aren't going to matter that much. But sub linebacker, almost definitely. Maybe the DNs, I'm not sure. Maybe you get a middle linebacker DN, but that's not really too helpful. That being said, you might be able to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it there. I don't really think it's that important, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it's a nice quality of life change. And the final thing was just these new slots where chemistry is active. So as you can see all the way over here, it's just pretty much every slot chemistry is active. That's how, like, kicker, punter, kick returner, and then I think the specialist positions, which are these. Now I could be wrong, but no, actually they're not in here, so they wouldn't be active. So yeah, so a whole ton of players' chemistries are activated. Whoa, too far. So it's going to be slightly different to see, like, oh, your backups are going to have to matter now. You're going to have to power up certain players, which that might be kind of tedious. I don't know, because again, if players aren't coming with the scheme, like, if players don't come with scheme chemistries, that means you have to power up players at least once to give them the scheme chemistry, which means you have a whole lot of players you got to power up. That's the one downside I'm seeing, and that could get tedious. But outside of that, I mean, everything looks good. Like, there's not really anything that could be bad. I don't really think the glitching lineups is going to kill anything. I don't see anything being too glitchy, but there's almost definitely going to be a way. Solo battles, cool. Squad squad challenges, cool. I mean, it's not, like, those aren't things that I'm going to be playing, but at the same time, it can't be bad to have. Like, those are just good things. Then again, the power-up system being completely overhauled is really good. It's really much needed change, so I'm really happy about that. Also, something worth noting, as you're going to see, let me scroll back down, there's no contracts. So right here, no contracts. Outside of that, I don't think I missed anything. Just trying to see, like, if I missed anything on the screen, like in the little images. But I don't think so. I mean, MUT level's obviously back, but I think they already announced that. What else? Tickets. Oh, tickets are back. There it is right there. So we will have tickets for kind of ranked events. Good to know. Here's their UI. Okay, so it is time based for the solo challenges. Yeah, tickets, and it looks like they cost tickets to get into that. Interesting. Maybe not, because it says tickets in the squad challenges, and I feel like that wouldn't have tickets. So who knows for tickets? That being said, they are back. Contracts are gone, so you win some, you lose some. That being said, hope you guys like the info. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you can find something negative, I mean, the good thing about this information, from at least what I'm seeing, is outside of the contracts, there really isn't anything negative, and even contracts really aren't, or not contracts, tickets. And tickets aren't that bad, to be honest. Just the rewards have to be able to be higher to make it make sense, but that's a whole nother thing. So, yeah, I mean, it all seems good. It's not like overwhelming, like, oh, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome. But there's nothing that seems like it's going to be bad. Like the power-ups last year was like, oh, they become net. That's an issue. Well, now they become net. You turn them back. You have a lot more player customizations. That's really cool. I just don't see anything that's really bad. So, that's nice. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think. As always, it's been the Master Gamer. I'm out.